Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and I'm gonna do another rant video, which I feel like for the past couple weeks that's all I've been doing, ranting. There's just a lot going on right now, and I just really want to discuss this, and honestly, why not? Why not just give my thoughts out to the world, see what other people think, and go from there. So what I want to discuss this time around is how I personally do not feel supported by local film festivals. So what does that mean? So as a filmmaker, as a director, as a producer, one of my responsibilities is to submit my films, Corner, Quince, The Date, Loose Ends, The Mechanic, which is about to have its festival run soon. My task, my responsibility is to submit these films into film festivals around the world. For me, when it comes to local film festivals, this is something I've been feeling ever since I regularly started attending film festivals down here in Florida. And that was around 2017, 2018 when I regularly went to film festivals. However, I think after the pandemic, this issue with me and film festivals has further been compounded because that was around that time when I actually did start submitting to film festivals. Corner, I finished filming and post-production for everything on Corner literally right before the pandemic, around February, March of the pandemic. So my whole experience, film festival-wise, has been post-pandemic for me personally as a filmmaker, not as an attendee, not as an audience member, but as a filmmaker myself, as a producer, director. My film festival experience has all been post-pandemic. And honestly, in those first couple of years, just for film festivals in general, was kind of weird. We had a lot of online film festivals, which are fine. People are now starting to get away from that. Also because in part, Film Freeway just doesn't want any more online film festivals. But when it comes to local film festivals, again, ever since the start, even before I started submitting to film festivals, when I was just a regular attendee, I never felt that film festivals down here in South Florida, which is where I'm based out of, our local film festivals, don't fully support us. Now, just to kind of give you guys an idea, what exactly do I mean when I say South Florida? I mean the counties of Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and Palm Beach County. Those three counties largely make up the South Florida industry as we know it. So those are the three counties that essentially make up the South Florida film industry. And honestly, there's a lot of issues I have with the current South Florida film industry for a lot of reasons. Maybe I'll get into that in different videos. But right now, again, I just want to discuss the film festivals. And honestly, I don't feel supported by our local film festivals. Now, what I'm about to say next, if you guys want to read it as, he just got rejected by another film festival, he's just complaining about that, get over it. I'll be honest, that's a completely fair and valid opinion. So be it. I don't really care, but I do really need a rant about this. And that is that recently, I did submit to a film festival that's local. It's based out of Broward County, where most local film festivals are based out of, to be honest. The majority of the industry in South Florida is based out of Broward County to begin with. But this film festival itself is based out of Broward County. And I know the people there. And I still got rejected. I submitted 3 films to them, and I still got rejected. And I was like, what the hell? Okay? And then when I look at the lineup, I noticed that they didn't really select that many films from down here in South Florida. Something I like to do a lot, especially with local film festivals, is I like to research what films got into the festival. And a lot of the films that got into this festival, a lot of them were from Florida, I'm not gonna lie, but they were from Orlando or up, so anywhere over Orlando. And that's a trend that, again, that's been happening since, I would say honestly forever, even since before the pandemic, but it's been gotten worse ever since the pandemic happened, where local film festivals don't really want to support local filmmakers. They'll support local filmmakers in the sense that, oh yes, they're from Florida, but they're not going to support local filmmakers in the sense that, oh, they're from South Florida, which I think is an honestly utter travesty. The South Florida film industry already as is has been extremely hampered by several things. Even before the pandemic, in the past 10 years, it's been hampered by incentives and just businesses, local film businesses leaving. And because there's not that much businesses down here, local talent wants to leave, usually up to Atlanta. And I think the fact that now you have film festivals not even wanting to show local filmmakers, feature local filmmakers in their festivals, it's honestly horrendous. It's honestly disgusting. It's, what the fuck? That's all I have to say, like, what the fuck? Locally, I've never gone into a film festival, straight up. Locally, I've never gone into a film festival. The closest local film festival I've really been accepted to is Treasure Coast, which is in Port St. Lucie, aka St. Lucie County, which is 2 counties over Palm Beach. It's Palm Beach, then Martin, and then St. Lucie. That's locally, that's the most I've been featured. And again, that's 2 counties over. That's on the edge of the Central Florida film industry. That's basically ruled by Orlando. Again, it's very disheartening, and part of it does have to do with the fact that we do have some really big film festivals, such as Miami Film Festival or Miami Web Fest, for example. But again, they don't really cater to Miami filmmakers per se, or even not even Miami filmmakers, South Florida filmmakers. Especially Miami International Film Festival, they largely cater to just U.S. films. And it just so happens to be based out of Miami International. Now, they do have a thing where they allow student films from Miami-Dade College to be entered, but even then, from what I've heard and seen, that's pretty to say the least. There's always some kind of fuckery going around with it, from what I understand. And I don't know, I just kind of want to rant about that. Like I just don't feel supported by local film festivals. It's one of those things that me as a filmmaker, I've submitted to so many local film festivals and just to always get rejected time and time again, it honestly gets tiring. And here's the thing, I understand rejection is a part of the industry here. You need to have tough skin to be rejected. I get that. Trust me, I completely get that. But it's the fact that locally, I just do not feel supported. That's where I honestly start to have a problem. And I guess that's where you could say I'm starting to like kind of break down. Because I've submitted to several local film festivals. Just to name off a few of the festivals I have submitted to, they include Filmgate Miami, Miami Web Fest, the Miami Film Festival, Miami Shorts Film Festival, Film Miami Fest, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival, Key West Film Festival, Miami for Social Change Youth Festival, Miami International Film Festival, Popcorn Frights Film Festival, and the Miami Underground Film Festival. And I've never been accepted into any of these festivals. Sometimes I've submitted more than once. And like 1 year I submit corner, the next year I submit the dates, for example. So like in that sense. And then when I look at the lineup, there's a very few local films, South Florida films. It's always either from just the U.S. in general, or if they just do strictly stick to Florida films, again, it's Orlando and up. And yes, I understand you want to have the best films, but again, if you're going to be a festival for a particular audience, actually cater to the audience, actually cater to the talent that's there. And that's my issue. And here's the thing, I know it sounds kind of weird, I'm complaining that, I'm not getting into film festivals down here, when I continuously post about the amount of festivals I've been accepted to, that all my films have been accepted to, not just in the US, but just internationally. But to a certain degree, that's also the thing. I'm getting support from outside of where I'm actually based out of. Because right now, those festivals can only do so much for me, and I'm trying to form connections down here, form proper connections down here, and you can't really do that if the industry at large isn't helping you. And one of the biggest factors for that is because the film festivals themselves aren't supporting you. And again, I mean, this whole section could go into a whole other thing, because in general, I just don't feel supported by the local South Florida film industry. A huge portion of it has to do with the fact that the film festival circuit down here is just complete and absolute trash. I'm not even gonna lie, it's absolute trash. They don't want to support local filmmakers. They want to support filmmakers who are not here, which again leads to that perpetual cycle of, we're not going to support it. Okay, fuck you, we're going to leave, and then leave South Florida. Talent predicament, because now we're losing talent that could actually be used down here. But no, they're moving to Atlanta, which, again, at the end of the day is a great career choice, don't get me wrong. I don't know, this probably just sounded like a bunch of ramblings. Fair enough. I just want to vent, to be honest, a bit, because I just find it ridiculous that our local film festivals do not feel like supporting our local filmmakers. And it's not just me. I've talked to a bunch of other filmmakers, and they feel the same way. They largely feel the same way, that they don't feel supported by local film festivals, or just the film industry at large down here in South Florida. Again, we have a litany of issues that we could go on about. Most filmmakers down here don't get support from local film festivals. They get support from film festivals outside of the region, which, I don't know, maybe that's positive, maybe that's negative, but the thing is, you want to feel supported by the people you're working with the audience you're trying to build. And it's hard to build up that audience, it's hard to make those connections when the industry you're in doesn't feel like supporting you at all. And the film festivals is one of the biggest contributing factors to that lack of connection, I guess that's the best way to word it. So yeah, what do you guys think? If you guys are based out of here in South Florida, what do you guys think will have your experiences been when it comes to submitting to film festivals and getting accepted or rejected from film festivals? Or what's your market? If you're based out of New York or Chicago or Dallas or wherever the hell you're based out of, how is the local industry there and how are film festivals there? I'd really be curious to hear some of you guys' experiences, and that's because, again, I've talked to filmmakers outside of here, based out of Atlanta, based out of New York, and they're like, no, we feel very supported by our film industry. I'm like, congratulations. I wish I had that. So yeah, what do you guys think? Give all your thoughts down below. Let me know. And yeah, that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.